Good morning, everybody. Orin J here with another War of the Visions video, and today we are going to talk about MR units in War of the Visions, and I'm going to give you my opinion on each element's best MR unit to invest in. So maybe if you're a new player and you want to clear some content, I can help you figure out which units you can invest in and not regret that investment later. There's content in this game like selection quests, which ban UR units, and there's a lot of MR units that hold their own in both PvE and PvP, even at the highest levels. So without further ado, let's jump into this. And I want to start with Fire because it's the first one on the left of the sorting list. And here we go. You can see with Fire, I actually have my personal favorite MR unit in the game, Adelard, leveled to 120. He's not my suggestion. My suggestion here is actually Lilith, and it's for PvE. This is a girl that I really wish I had leveled up when I was doing my own selection quests, but even at 99 was really valuable for me. And to show you what I'm talking about, I'm going to jump over to wotivcalc.com for a second here, and this is Lilith's ability page, right? Check out these abilities right here. Lilith is a knight, and with her comes a bunch of AP breaking attacks. She has AP Break, which upgrades to AP Crusher, and at max level 120, she has AP Devastator, which is a ranged AoE. AP Break times 40. These can crit, and if you hit somebody with one of these, it might just drain their entire AP pool. These are insanely useful moves for nerfing a boss in PvE or nerfing really hard mobs in PvE on like selection quest stages. You hit them with an AP Break, and all of a sudden those mages, if they have no AP, can't do anything to you. So you will get use out of Lilith. Not so much in PvP. Knights are kind of a bad PvP job. She does have access to a ranger sub for mixed damage types, and maybe early on you get some use out of her there. But overall, I think if I was talking about Fire units to invest in for MR, I'd start with Lilith. Okay, next up, let's talk about our next element here, and that is going to be Ice. Okay, not a ton of MR options in Ice, but my favorite one here is definitely Nausea. And I'm just gonna this one I don't have to go to the ability pages to break down for you. When you're doing selection quests, it's very nice to have a tank. It makes the quest so much easier if you're like, look, I got an MR tank who can sit there and soak a bunch of damage, and that is something Nausea can do for you. So just for that reason alone, if you're investing in an Ice MR unit, Nausea's not only a good tank for PvE, she can hold her own in limited cost PvP situations as well. And in fact, generally speaking, in a limited PvP, whether it's Guild Wars or some kind of cost restrictive environment, I think you get a ton of value out of MR tanks. Because look, you can stack defense and spirit and shields, and she has all of that onto almost any unit and make them pretty tanky. But damage is really hard to make up that gap in rarity, right? So get your lower rarity units to be your tanks, let them soak damage, then fill the rest of your team up with your better URs and take out people like that. Now I do want to give a special shout out here though to Shell. Shell is somebody who I didn't ever level her, right? But notice that I max awakened and max limit broke her, and that's for this right here, the Ingus Staff. Currently in the game, this is one of the better weapons to tweak out with Trust Stones if you're going to go that route, because it has the additional ability of magic attack up and spirit piercing rate up. This is a great staff. Even before Trust Stones were in the game, I used this staff. That's why Shell is max LB and max awaken, even though I've literally never used her. She's level 16. So that's kind of my shout out for Ice. Okay, next up, going left to right, we've got Wind, and this was another pretty easy one for me. Again, same kind of thing. Dario is a very good wind tank. This is another super easy one to talk about, especially now with the addition of ability card, vision card stacking. Dario is a dang solid tank, especially against magic users. He's even better now. His biggest drawback as a tank was he had to move into range and use his taunting spell to get aggro. With the addition of sub vision cards, you can throw Vow of Love into Dario's sub VC slot, and he's got aggro from turn 1. He's a great tank. He has buffs coming down the line in JP that make him into, I don't know, what on paper looks like to be an insane tank. Also, the Glinting Sword, his TMR, has acquired AP up 30% as an additional ability. This is a very good tanking sword, because tanks, especially ones that rely on like abilities to maybe gather more aggro, like an Engelbert for example, really like acquired AP up. This one's got it, so that's a nice little bonus if you're looking to build up a sword, which also has a nice base magic stat, so good for your spell blades as well, who want magic swords, and if you're new and hurting for swords, it's a decent option. Okay, those two were pretty easy to talk about. MR tanks, building them's not that hard. Let's go to Earth. Now, with Earth, I'm going to exclude Mont Leonis from this list. Mont is the main character in the game, right? And like, honestly, this is a great MR character, but you don't have to invest anything to really level Mont, at least not shard-wise. You can buy his shards in the shop for Gil. I recommend everybody build Mont up at least to 99. His Trustmaster is very good, especially again for new players. So let's do somebody besides Mont. And for this one, I want to talk about two units in particular. The two units that carried, well, one of them carried me through Earth selection. The other one really helped. Liviel. Liviel is a very, very powerful mage, and I'm going to go to her WoTV calc page here and kind of do a little bit deeper dive. First of all, Staff of Saiga, it has AP consumption down on it. Not going to recommend her for that, but if we go look at her skills, she has access to very, very good jobs. In her Black Mage sub job, she has a lot of damage, right? She could do a lot of work for you there if you want her to, but that's not it. That's not why I like her. It's you scroll down here, boom, she's got Arithmetician. She has a nice amount of base magic, and with her Arithmetician sub, you have instant cast damage and instant casting heals. She carried me through Earth selection. I think she was my most useful unit during Earth selection. I loved her. I love this unit. Like, if I was throwing blossoms into the wind and leveling up MRs, I would take her up to 120. She has disable in her kit right here with height 3 or height 2 disable, which is super, like, I can't emphasize, super good on Earth selection quests, especially on some of those harder levels. There are mobs that are not immune to disable, and you can AoE disable them. It has massive range, hits in a big AoE. Boom, she's it for me. Now, if you wanted to go for a different option, I do want to shout out Lorenzo because he is a Lancer, and Lancers have access. Well, he has Lancer sub job. Lancers have access to Mana Strike, which is, you know, it's kind of like back to Lilith from the first slide. These are those AP breaks. You can neuter a mob by taking away their AP. Just take them out of the fight, basically, right? He also has access to Time Mage. If you just wanted to, like, maybe there's a fight where you couldn't use AP breaks effectively, you could get some haste, right? So, like, having haste in your group is never a terrible thing. So Lorenzo would be, like, my second choice there. Okay, let's jump back into the client real quick here and go to our next element, because that's Earth. And, or Earth is over, and now we go to Lightning. Okay. For Lightning, there is Silma, who I think is absolutely at the top of this list, but I have a hard time recommending Silma because she's from a side story. Right now, at the time this video is dropping in War of the Visions, you can go farm her. But if you're a new player, you probably have other priorities. However, if she ever reruns, if she ever comes back, Crimson Rapier is one of the best tank swords in the game. It has slash attack resist up on it. It has a nice mix of attack or magic. You can tweak this thing out with trust stones and make it an absolutely great item. So she's worth building. She was great in Lightning selection, but I'm not going to use her as my recommended because she's not somebody who you can just build on the side, right? Instead, I want to talk about this girl right here. I want to talk about Salir. She's Black Mage, White Mage, Ninja, and I'm going to head back over to WoTV Calc for a second and show you a couple things. One, Magical String, very nice accessory because it has Human Killer 20 with magic attacks. Like, if you're a newer player and you don't have some of the best equipment in the game, extra little 20 Human Killer on Magical String really won't hurt you. The stats on it really are pretty basic, 172 HP, 8 Spirit, nothing to write home about there. But everybody can equip this thing, and Human Killer 20 on magic is nice. Now, if we look at her kit, what does she bring? She brings a lot. Notably, she brings a bunch of damage from her Black Mage sub, so that's really cool, right? She has upgraded Flare. I mean, Flare hits at a 322% modifier. That's as good as it gets, right? Like, that's insane. And her upgraded one won't proc counter chances. Salir, MR Salir is somebody who, back in her day, was a mainstay in high-end PvP when, like, level 99s were a thing. Salir Orlandu was a common thing. It was great. It was just awesome. Okay. She also has a single target resistance debuff, which is really good for, like, killing bosses and stuff. All right, but if we scroll down, she has White Mage. White Mage, super useful, right? Holy for like mixed element damage, protect, shell, heals. She can do a lot of things for your team in PvE that you just need. On hard content, it is important to be able to heal when there's maps that allow you to do it. It's important to be able to tank. She can help you with protect and shell there. And if it's not sometime when you need her to heal, she has access to Ninja Sub, which is like terrible. Don't use it. Don't use it. It's bad. Set you up there. Anyway, she has White Mage. You're going to run her on White Mage. I don't know where I was going with the Ninja Sub thing, but White Mage, Black Mage, a really cool, powerful combination, and a great MR unit in Salir. Okay, so that's my lightning suggestions. Next, let's do water. Now, water is very limited for MR units, right? You have Tyrell, you have Crazy, both of whom are, well, Tyrell was a giveaway unit, and Crazy is an event unit, right? So, like, not two that you can just farm regularly. That leaves Ramada. And she was going to be my recommendation anyway. So, she's a Lancer, and if I bring up her page right here, we can talk about what she can do. So, Lancer main job. I hate this main job, by the way. This is not a main job for PvP that I recommend, but Ramada is surprisingly strong. She has good damage, especially single target damage. She can inflict doom and paralyze on a target with her obliterate upgrade. That's not why you're using her. That's not why I have you building her. Yes, her damage is nice. You build her for Mana Strike right here. Mana Strike, this is that AP killer, super useful in PvE. I've been over that all the time. And the other thing with her, if you're on a stage where this isn't going to help you out, maybe a raid, right? Maybe you're doing raid content and you want a water raid. She has Thief Sub. Look, keep your eyes open for units with Thief Sub and see if they have Steal Time. This is a CT decrease and agility buff for herself. If you're going for big PvE chains in raid or trials content, something like that, having a Thief is very, very useful. So she can fill that role for you, and she can fulfill the role of an AP killer in PvE content, and she does a lot of damage. And also, well, I mean, if we put the game back on the screen, what are your options for water? Crazy and Tyrell. I will say, shout out to Crazy, by the way, for Musketoon Custom. Yeah, I said that right. This is really nice. First of all, it's one of the most OP skin, weapon skins in the game. If you want your gun to look like longer than your body and people be toting around like dual rifles, you can run this. And the additional ability of Hate Down is very useful, especially on a gunner unit who you don't want to get like accidentally killed. This could be a very nice TMR weapon. So you can see I took Crazy to level 99. Well, I full awakened and full unlocked her to get access to that. It's really good. Okay, so that's my water. Now, light. Here's you got options in light. You have options. I would be remiss, like I would not be doing myself a service if I didn't mention that Elshra hard carried me in a light selection quest. She does a ton of damage. She can heal. She's got time mage. Like, she's so good. Marielle also very important, but the best light MR unit is definitely this girl right here. It is definitely FFBE's one and only Fina, and we can put her on the screen here. Okay, her bow is hilarious. The basic attack on this bow has a chance to apply charm. There are troll builds out there where maybe you let your Fina just, have some healing, like leave her heals and stuff on, but don't give her any attacks. Let her just auto attack if she's in range, and go for a lucky charm or two. Lucky charms magically oh my god. Anyway, you see what I'm saying. This bow is pretty decent. Like, I wouldn't build her just for it, but it's fun, it's funny. Charm is a really broken ability in the game. You run Fina because of her skills. So, like, in her main job here, she has, her main job is Lapis, like, what is it called? Hold on, let me read it. It is called White Mage of Lapis. It is a unique job just to her, and her skills scale off of attack, some of her skills scale off of magic. So she's like dual scaling. This job level 25 ability that scales off of magic was a big deal for her. This gave her legitimate damage in PvP. And there are actually top tier PvP teams in the game right now that are Fina, Jaden, Elena, or Fina, Jaden something. Light missile teams, Fina is a real option. You will get tons of value out of leveling this unit up, especially as a newer player. This is insane, especially if you're running like Elena. This decreases accuracy for the target it hits. If Fina drops this attack on an enemy team and you're running Elena, Elena will not get hit. She just won't. This is insane. So really good use there. She also has a she has full life. Hold on, where is it? She has cheer. Oh, by the way, cheer, this is a faith raising move. If you're new to the game, you can raise your faith to 70 in the guild barracks. After that, if you want to take your faith all the way up to 97, you need some kind of buff or some kind of trust master that has faith raising on it. Fina does. Cheer, besides being a really good buff that gives protect, attack buff, magic buff, it also raises faith for your ally. One of those faith raises will stick after the fight, so you can use Fina to raise the faith of your teams. And then she has full life. There it is. It's in her main job. Full life. So she does a lot of damage. She can debuff accuracy. She has cheer, and she has full life. She is probably top 2 MR units in the game, and it's a toss-up. It depends on what you like. If you're going for PvP, I'd say she's the best MR unit in the game, and she's great in PvE as well. Okay, there's only one element left, you guys. There's only one element left, and that is dark. Here it is. This is a no-brainer. This is an absolute no-brainer, and it's Shadowlinks. I put out a video yesterday of Shadowlinks literally 1v1ing nightmare level content. Or brutal level content. I don't know. The hardest Final Fantasy 14 raid, Shadowlinks can just do it. She just goes in there. She can't get hit by the raid boss. She can get hit by only 100% hit attacks from the archers. They run out of AP, and then she just takes it down. Also, do you want a free UR unit that you can take to max level? Well, Shadowlinks can solo Dark Selection Quest all by herself. I have a video out on that as well. Now, she can't do it on auto. You have to actually play the game with that to get her to do it. But she can do it. All of it. It's insane. For an MR unit she's one of the best PvE solo units in the game. I have never regretted maxing out Shadowlinks. She somehow keeps finding a way to be relevant, and you can tell how great she is because she won the global popularity poll. Yes, she's really cool looking and she's got a lot, that's great, but I think a lot of people really like her too because of how dang good she is as a unit. Okay. Guys, that is going to do it for my video. That's who I would recommend investing in. I know right now, as of filming this video, those MR tickets that you can get from the bingo boards are bugged. They won't be bugged forever. You are soon to be able to get your hands on them. I've been putting out this video for a little while because I didn't want to trigger everybody because their tickets were bugged. But you're going to get those soon, and you're going to need to invest in some MR units. These are my suggestions, but mostly, let me throw this out there. If you're playing this game, there are plenty of characters in this game that are good. And if you think a character looks fun, if there's a character you want to play, I guarantee you can make them work some way or another. So invest in the characters you want. This is just my personal opinion, and I hope it was useful to you. So have a great rest of your weekend, everybody, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.